I think that the coaches may be conflicted. And I was talking to some people last night about the concept of training camp fights, and somebody pointed out in the old days of Hard Knocks, you would have clips of guys fighting, and the coach would be saying, let them keep going.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's a certain, now the health and safety issues make that frowned upon in this current climate. But, Chris, the point I made last Friday was there's a balance for the coach because you want to keep people safe, but on the other hand,
yeah, you like it a little.
You kind of like the fire. You know, you got Aaron Donald, who was a guy that's already thinking about retirement. You know what they say? If you're already thinking about retirement, you're already retired. Here he is swinging helmets in a joint practice against the team we beat in the Super Bowl last year. My guy's ready to go for 2022. I no longer have to worry about Aaron Donald's overall commitment and excitement and fire and passion for the game. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and you're right. But to your story you're telling there too, and those Hard Knocks ones, it's team versus team, right? Where it might be, okay, damn, yeah, it's day 15, and we've done double sessions 12 of those 15 days, and okay, well, you know, they know each other, it's a little chippy, blah, blah, blah. But we've gotten into just full-blown melees now, where it's going into the crowd and hurting a woman in New England who's watching practice. You know, it's guys are getting trampled during these, getting stuck here or there. Guys who are getting hurt on the field, and then the melee breaks out on top of them. You know, let alone what we just saw on that video with Aaron Donald. So that's where the danger is. And then, you know, the access to all the social media and the phones, it's just in your face immediately. So, yeah, I do. And if I was a head coach of a football team, as much as I love joint practices and thought they were a great thing, I maybe would think twice about it. I'd have to be really comfortable with the other coach and the other team to feel like, okay, let's pull it off. Because it just seems like now it's just gotten worse here the last few years, and we see it almost daily, you know, the last few weeks of training camp.
Well, and you know, last week, Zach Taylor, the Bengals coach, he was very muted and subdued about it. He should have been pissed off, but he agreed to do it, and
he's friends with McVay.
He's not going to call out the guy who helped him get the job that he now has.
Exactly right. Exactly. That's it, too. You're right. He agreed to do it. He knew what he was getting in, you know, and get in store for.
And he knows Aaron Donald.
He knows Aaron Donald.
He was there.
Right, yeah. And then, you know, then, yes, you're right. He's friends with Sean McVay. He worked for Sean McVay, so he didn't throw them under the bus. But I guarantee he went back in the office and said, that's some BS, and we're lucky that one of our guys didn't get hurt. And that's got to change. And to that point, I do think we need to make that clear, too. Like, as chippy as the Rams are, that I have a hard time thinking that Les Snead and Sean McVay and company didn't address this. Not that they took him in there and, you know, slapped him over the wrist with a ruler. But I would bet you they had a real serious talk about this. Like, this ain't a good look for us, for you. It's bad for the sport. And we're all lucky that you didn't connect with somebody not wearing a helmet, like you said, and they're in concussion protocol for the rest of their life with Aaron Donald doing something like that, or in a hospital for 2 weeks, or, you know, whatever, permanent skull damage. And hopefully that had hit home with them, because I do think McVay and Les Snead are good guys and wouldn't want that.
And remember, there was still that opportunity for the NFL, if it's so decided, to punish the Rams for failing to exercise proper control over its players at this joint practice. If they've done it extremely quietly and discreetly, and that's not the way to handle it either. I think they need to send a message to everyone, because that would be a step toward keeping this from happening, and that is something the league can do. They can whack the Rams for not properly ensuring that Aaron Donald didn't whack anybody over the head with a helmet. One last point about this media tour yesterday, and this is astounding to me. Zach Gelb of CBS Sports Radio sent me the clip last night. I don't think we have the clip available, but you can find it at PFT. Gelb was asking Donald basic, simple questions about the helmet incident.
Yeah.
Asked a couple, fairly innocuous.
Right.
And I think the third question was, are you surprised you didn't get suspended? And during the interview, now it wasn't live, but all of these are live to tape.
Yeah.
When you set up one of these things, they've got a schedule where every 10 minutes another person is on the clock and asks the questions, and they get a little, thing that they use in their show whenever their show may be. Rarely are these things lined up in a way that they're live. It happens. This was being taped. But still, you treat it like it's live. Well, one of the PR people involved in this media tour for Aaron Donald actually interrupted the questioning to say, Aaron Donald is here to talk about whatever product was paying him the money to be there, and you only have 2 minutes left. So please pivot to your final question about the product that is paying Aaron Donald to be here today. It was astounding. I mean, that is an absolute do not do that. And I didn't get the impression Zach was as livid about it as he should have been. I think he was just appreciative of the fact that, hey, I got all this on tape, and people are going to see this and they're going to say, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the extent to which they were trying to go to protect Aaron Donald from having to talk about it. And that's what pisses me off more than anything. Because, look, we both think Aaron Donald should have been the Super Bowl MVP. We both think Aaron Donald is one hell of a player. We've met him. I like him. But that doesn't mean that we're gonna shut our mouths and look the other way when he does something that cries out for accountability, and he gets none.
He knows
from the league, from his team, or gets a pass on getting asked any tough questions because he's got a PR person who's going to swoop in and tell the interviewer, move along. I'm astounded by this. And when's he going to meet with the media?
Well,
he hasn't met with the media in the last week.
Yeah.
And what are the reporters who cover the team going to say? See, this is where you got to tread lightly, because if you piss off the team, then they freeze you out. That's part of the game that gets played now. So when's he going to be asked really tough questions about it? I don't know. I think he's going to avoid it.
Probably not. You're right. Now Aaron Donald, he's a good enough guy, and I've been around him enough to know he can handle us saying, hey, you shouldn't do that. And like I said, I have a hard time thinking Raheem Morris, defensive coordinator, Sean McVay, these are guys I know that, they're not going to be cool with that. I'm sure they said something real to him there. So but I do think, your point about, at some point when it's that big of a story or whatever, again, that's where me personally, and I think a lot of teams maybe below this at times to a degree, is just confront it. Take it head on, and you end the story. You end it, If you just, 2 days after it happened, you come out and, hey, I'm Aaron Donald, and I'd like to address something that happened in practice the other day that I'm ashamed about, and I shouldn't have done. It wasn't a good look. I don't know. My emotions ran high. I'm tired in training camp. I felt like a guy cheap shotted me, and really, I'm really sorry for it. I know there's no excuse. I know it's still horrible that I did it, but I just wanted to come up here and make that comment and take a few questions and do it. And then when you do a media tour like this or have press conferences, it's over. It's over because it's out there. It's everywhere. And we know when you do that type of press conference and address it and take questions, then when he is on a show like ours a week later, the producer goes, well, he's answered all those questions. Let's not go back and ask that. The actual people who are trying to get media coverage will drop it because they're just going to go, it's an old story now. There's nowhere to go with it. He said everything. Let's not annoy him and make him go back to it. And that's, to me, sometimes where teams and players just drop the ball a little bit. And I know it's easier said than done.
But it puts us in a posture where there's no new ground to cover. The ground has been covered.
It's done.
There's nothing else to ask.
Right.
As it stands, there's everything
We're still
to
talking
ask.
about
and
it.
We do have the clip from last night's CBS Sports Radio interview of Aaron Donald. It's worth your time, and give it a listen. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.